major challenges to our city or district right now?
There are a number of challenges to our district right now. I'm going to focus on those rather than getting into the city specific aspects at this time. Primary among those, I'm going to list two. The challenges, first is communication. I already touched on that. I won't touch on that again at this moment. The second is going to be development, and the third is safety. 2 and 3 are kind of tied together at this point. We're at a crossroads at this district. As the students begin to pursue and migrate their paths closer to the campus, we are left with an old housing stock, and we need to decide what we're going to do with it. We need to begin to transition our neighborhood completely, as well as those areas, to family housing, and particularly home-occupied housing. That is my vision for the long-term success of this neighborhood. We need to take those homes in a case-by-case basis and determine which homes can be saved. If they're not salvageable, then we need to clear the way for moderate development and infill development, which will allow our area residents to have confidence to invest in those existing homes that remain and bring fresh blood and new faces to our communities. Particularly, we need to focus, and I keep harping on this, on family-oriented development, because this building, this school, is the most important attribute of our neighborhood and of the entire district. As Lapham Elementary goes, so goes the Tenny Lapham neighborhood, and so goes the district. And now to touch on safety, as the students move out, we're also experiencing safety concerns at this time. We need to address those aggressively when it comes to crimes being perpetrated and see how we can reduce recidivism in our communities and petty crime, and also pay attention to traffic. We need walkable streets that are safe for everyone. I intend to aggressively use stop signs to prevent people from cutting through thoroughfare and regular streets that should be residential and must be maintained as such.
The major challenges for the city of Madison basically are hooked on the nation's economic future. And I think a lot of us don't know exactly what that means at this point, but I think one of the things that we're going to need in City Hall over the next few years are people who are experienced, who have had work with our budget, and who define basic services beyond just are our streets plowed and did your garbage get picked up. Part of what makes Madison so special is our quality of life here, and a lot of our quality of life is because we've made investments in this community in terms of childcare, in terms of our parks, in terms of so many things throughout the city, and we need to continue to balance our priorities and make sure that we are making sure that our taxpayers aren't being overwhelmed by their taxes, but at the same time, our budget priorities are in order. And I think we need to make sure that our budget process is absolutely transparent. I think that's probably one of our biggest challenges. I think it's probably also the thing that probably none of us up here have the answer to. But I think one of the things that's going to be important as we have those discussions is going to be experience. I've gone through 8 budget processes now. The Acacia project that just got turned down at the council last night was really a canary in the coal mine for some of our development issues that we're going to have coming up. Everybody probably knows about the project that's coming up on the 600 block of East Johnson, as well as the potential redevelopment of the Edgewater, and how we develop is going to be extremely important. There's a lot of issues with what's going on in James Madison Park and selling the houses there. East Washington, at the corridor there, making sure we get the development and transportation, as I mentioned earlier.
Both of these folks have touched on very good points. I have to agree, there are a number of things. There's right off the bat, there's a lot of issues regarding safety and rundown infrastructure in the neighborhood. I had folks just a couple blocks from here explain how they're having a lot of issues with drug dealing and with tenants that are not very good with the neighborhood. There's been a lot of issues with the street lighting. I've had folks talk to me about how their cars are getting sideswiped very regularly on East Johnson due to sort of this crosses into the speed issue, but also with regard to the street lighting late at night, they're having a lot of issues. So safety, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of foot traffic at night. I'd really like to see better street lighting. There's very good plans that are going forward. I think Eli Judge with the downtown residential lighting initiative wanted to run, because I'm seeing friends and students move out of town and move out of the district The businesses on East Johnson, the 800-900 blocks, are having a lot of issues. I'd like to really work on a lot of different fronts.
Three major issues that I see that are facing our city as a whole in the district, and those are safety, retaining jobs, providing quality housing options. And I think that you're going to achieve a lot of these by actually implementing a lot of the plans that are in place for the city and the plans that have been worked on. Things like the neighborhood plans by the Tenny Labor neighborhood. I know the capital neighborhoods are, and that's really a key here, is what are we going to do to actually implement our economic development plan? The goal there will be to ultimately grow our tax base from what it currently is, so you're not going to be overtaxing some of the property owners that we currently have. And you're going to be seeing this by retaining and attracting new jobs. You're going to see new businesses providing services that we're looking for and would like. And you're going to be seeing a lot of this happen along the East Washington corridor. And I view this as a red carpet to the downtown from the east side. It's been in a target area by the city, and things are going to happen. Now, we need to balance the concerns of our neighborhoods with the inherent growth of our community and really be responsible in developing our community as a whole. There's a lot of historic buildings all throughout this district, and so we need to preserve those, but at the same time, we need to respect those, but there's going to be some new opportunities out there. And anybody that's putting forth a project is making a serious investment in our community with the true intention of growing the tax base, providing quality housing, providing a lot of jobs to people who are going to be building these projects, and overall, this increases the tax base, and we're going to be able to make sure that our budget is balanced, and we are able to provide the quality services that we expect from our city.